The NFL season is back, you guys, and with the season just right around the corner, I knew it was the perfect time to come out with my predictions for the 2021 NFL season. So before this video does get started, I do want to say, go ahead and check out my podcast if you guys haven't already. The link to it is in the description below. And two, if you guys disagree with me, that is completely fine. But before you guys go in the comment section all pissed off because I said your team won't make the playoffs or is gonna be bad, or because I said they aren't going to go undefeated and win the Super Bowl, keep a few things in mind. A, there are a lot of teams that can make the playoffs, but there's only so many teams that, really can make it because there's a limit on how many teams, can make the postseason. B, not every single team can go undefeated and win the Super Bowl, and I mean realistically, all right? And then C, there are going to be bad teams during the NFL season, all right? Face it, not every single team can be good. It's unfortunate, but it's just a reality. But yeah, without further ado, let's get this video started. And starting out with the AFC, I'm going to go over the AFC East first. And at first place, I got the Buffalo Bills going 12-5. The Bills, as long as Josh Allen continues to play at this level or somewhere around it, they are going to be the favorites to win this division, and I had a hard time betting against them, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Bills to win this division, even though I am a New England Patriots fan, and they could win more than 12 games, but in this division, they did get a whole lot tougher, and I do think 12 games is pretty realistic. I got the Patriots going 11-6. Look, I know I probably got a little bit of bias because I am a Patriots fan, but I got faith in Mac Jones, and I think New England is just bound to rebound, considering the fact that they won 7 games, and with that roster they had last year, and with a ton of opt-outs, and I think they are just bound to bounce back, and at the very least be a playoff contender. And then we got the Miami Dolphins at 10-7. I think the Dolphins, they're going to be a very good team again. They got a really good defense, a great coach, and Tua Tagovailoa, I know he gets a lot of hate. Even as a Patriots fan, I have to say that guy gets way too much hate, and I think he's going to be much better this upcoming year, and I think the offense in general is also going to be much better, and I could see them winning more than 10 games. It's very possible. And then they got the Jets winning four games and finishing last in the AFC East. And the Jets, they got a really bright future, don't get me wrong, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won something like 5 or 6 games. However, this division, it is super tough, one of the best in the entire NFL, and they are still a rebuilding team, and they're still young, and they're still getting there. However, they do have a bright future, and no matter how many games they lose, I think they will be a competitive team. And if Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh, are those guys, that, quarterback and head coach respectively, I think they are going to have a very bright future, and I think they could be maybe like a little bit better than people think. But yeah, there's the AFC East for you. Now we got the AFC North, and at first place, I have the Cleveland Browns winning it at 12-5. Look, this roster, sorry about the voice crack, but this roster, it is absolutely stacked, and it is loaded with talent, and I could see them winning more than 12 games, to be honest with you. And to be quite frankly, they could go and finish with the 1 seed in the AFC. Then we got the Ravens at 11-6. The Ravens, they're a great team, and I could maybe see them winning like a little bit less because Greg Roman's a terrible ass offensive coordinator, but the Ravens, look, they're gonna be a good team again, in my opinion. They could definitely win this division as well, but I just think the Browns are like the better team, so that's why I picked them. But hey, I wouldn't be too mad if you did pick the Ravens to win this division. And then I got the Steelers finishing third, going 8-9. I could easily see them winning more than 8 games because they have a streak of just not having going below 500. So they could definitely win more than 8 games, but they do play in the AFC North, and it is super tough, and I just think they are bound to regress. However, they are still going to be a very good team. They are not going to be as bad as some people may think. Then I got the Bengals finishing 6-11 and last in the division. Look, I think the Bengals, like the Jets, they are still getting there. They're still a young team. However, they do have a bright future, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe won like one more game that I think they will be, and they'll win and go 7-10. However, the Bengals, they are still getting there, and I still got my concerns about the coaching position because Zach Taylor, I'm not the biggest fan of him, and that defense, while I do think it will improve, I just don't think it will improve enough to the point where they're going to win like the 10 or 12 games. And along with that, I still got concerns about that offensive line, but the Bengals, they are getting there, and in like a year or two, I think they will be a playoff team. Then we got the AFC South, and I have the Tennessee Titans winning it at 10-7. The Titans offense, it's amazing. It's really just that defense that concerns me, but they did improve the defense in free agency and in the draft. And I mean, if Caleb Farley does have a good rookie year, that'll help out the secondary a lot, and they do have talent on that front seven. So if they can fit just you have that defense become pretty good, the Titans could easily win more than 10 games. But I do have concerns about that defense. I got the Colts finishing second at 9-8. The Colts could win more games. However, Carson Wentz, I mean, he has injury issues, and also the AFC just got a whole lot tougher. And I'm just not sure how good that pass rush will be now that they lost Justin Houston. And outside of DeForest Buckner, they don't have like a whole lot of pass rushing threats. So hopefully Kwity Paye can step up and be that guy. Then we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6-11. That may shock some people, but I think the Jaguars will be better than a lot of people may think. Now I know they went 1-16 last year, but they were competitive in a lot of their losses, and they improved quite a bit in free agency and the draft. And I do think the Jaguars I think they could definitely be a pretty competitive team. Now maybe they could be a little bit worse than I anticipate, but I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, they could surprise a lot of people, and I think 6-11 isn't the worst thing, the worst prediction in the world. Then we got the Houston Texans finishing last with the 1-16 record. Look, man, this team, they're not going to be good. They won 4 games with Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to be good enough to win 1 game, but I don't think they're going to be a very good team. I can't see them winning more than 4, to be honest. Then we got the AFC West to wrap up this conference, and I got the Chiefs winning it at 13-4. No surprise there. Look, it's the Chiefs, and I mean, as long as Patrick Mahomes is healthy, and as long as they do have like a pretty healthy team, they're going to be the favorites to win that division, and I think they are going to, obviously. And then we got the Chargers finishing second with a 10-7 record. The Chargers, they could definitely disappoint because it's the Chargers, and they do have a history of disappointing. However, I think Brandon Staley is going to be that guy, and the Chargers, they blew a lot of leads, and had they had a much better coach who could manage the clock, they would have been a much better team. And I think that 10-7 is not too bad of a record prediction. Now they do play in a tough conference, so I mean, that is one reason why the win total maybe isn't as high as some people may anticipate. However, I think 10-7 is not that bad. I got the Raiders finishing third with the 9-8 record. They could easily make the playoffs and win more than 9 games, and I don't think they're as bad as some people say they are. However, I mean, this division is very tough, and the 3 other teams really improved, so that's really what's holding them back. But if they won more than 9 games, I wouldn't be too shocked. Then we got the Denver Broncos finishing last in this division with a 9-8 record as well. However, in the Broncos, I think they are going to be like maybe a little bit better than people anticipate. They just need average quarterback play, and I think Teddy Bridgewater can provide them with that. And I wouldn't be too shocked if the Broncos did make the playoffs and finish second in this division, because their roster, it's absolutely loaded, and all they need is just average quarterback play. And maybe Drew Lock does step in at some point in the year, and if he does improve a lot, then the Broncos are going to be a scary ass team that I don't think a lot of teams would want to play. But there's the AFC West for you, and just the AFC for you guys. Then we move on to the NFC. Starting out with the NFC East, I got the Washington football team winning it at 9-8. The Dallas Cowboys, finishing second with an 8-9 record. The Giants going 7-10, and the Eagles going 4-13. The Washington football team, I mean, I think they are going to win it again. All right, I know that defense, it's absolutely awesome, to put it simply. Their offense, I know it's not the best in the world, but it's not I think it's better than some people say it is. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, even though he does have his bad performances, the guy does have his good performances, and I do think the offense should be fine. Not exactly elite, but I think they should definitely be fine. Dallas Cowboys, I got them going 8-9. Look, I think 8-9 really isn't too unrealistic. This is the Cowboys, and I don't think they are going to go 14-3 like some people may say, but the Cowboys, they should definitely improve with a healthy Dak. However, I got questions about that defense, because even though I do think it will improve, that's not really saying much. And like, how much more improved will it be? And I got doubts about Mike McCarthy and how good of a coach he will be. The New York Giants at 7-10. Look, they could win more games if Daniel Jones does play very well. I mean, and he plays better than I think he will, because the Giants got a very good team. They just need good play from Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones will be fine. Not great, but he won't be as bad as he was last year. So I think 7-10, not the most unrealistic thing, but they could be worse or better. I mean, I don't know. I mean, 7-10, not too bad in my opinion. Then I got the Eagles going 4-13. Look, the Eagles, they are rebuilding right now, and while I do think Jalen Hurts I think he can definitely be that guy, I mean, this team is rebuilding. I don't think they will be very good this year. Then we got the NFC North. I got the Green Bay Packers winning it at 10-7. Not too much of a surprise here. I mean, they got Aaron Rodgers, and I think as long as he's playing he's going to be playing for at least one more season, barring any injuries. And I think as long as he's there, they will be the favorites to win this division. And then we got the Minnesota Vikings finishing second with a 9-8 record. I think they can win more games than this. However, I mean, this division, I guess it's like semi-tough. But yeah, 9-8, I don't think that's too unrealistic of a record prediction. I think they will be better than last year for sure, because even though their defense was terrible, they did have a lot of injuries on that side of the ball, and with those free agency pickups and some draft pickups as well, and the fact that they will be returning to full health, at least I think they will be. I think the Vikings, I mean, they are due to win more than 7 games. Then we got the Bears at 8-9. I think that's actually not that bad of a record prediction. They could win a few more games if Andy Dalton is good enough, while he's a starter, and if Justin Fields really is that guy, if he does take over and when he does. But yeah, man, I mean, the Bears, I mean, that offensive line, it is not good. It looked absolutely terrible in the preseason. Granted, it is preseason, so we probably should take it a little bit with a grain of salt, but that Bears offensive line did not look very good. And while that defense is very good, I mean, it's really just the offense, and they could finish better or maybe even worse, but 8-9, I don't think that's bad. And then we got the Lions at 2-15. Look, this is a rebuilding year, and I just don't think they will be very good. They could be a little bit better than I think, but 2-15, I don't think that's too unrealistic. I really don't think it's I think that's perfectly, reasonable. For the NFC South, I got the Buccaneers winning it at 13-4, the Saints finishing second with going 10-7, the Panthers going 7-10, and the Falcons finishing 5-12. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning it, that's not too much of a surprise. I think they kind of are locked to win it. The Saints going 10-7, that might be shocking to some people, but I do think James Winston will be, I think he will be pretty good this year. He will still have some turnover issues, but I do think he will be way better taking care of the football compared to what he was in 2019. I mean, I just don't think he's going to be throwing 30 interceptions. That's just not going to happen. I seriously doubt that. And even though they did lose Drew Brees, they still got quite a bit of talent on that team. They're still a well-balanced team. They're still well-coached. And I think 10-7, I think it's very possible. Now, I mean, they could be worse, but I think I got them going 10-7. Then we got the Panthers going 7-10. I think Sam Darnold will be pretty good, but not exactly great. Now, if he is very good, then the Panthers could be much better than I think they will be better than a 7-win team. It really just all comes down to how Sam Darnold plays, and also kind of on the defense as well. And then the Falcons going 5-12. Look, I know they got a new coach and all, but it's that defense, man. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in that defense. And even though Dean Pease is pretty good, he doesn't have a whole lot of talent to work with on that side of the ball. And look, man, the offense will be good. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in the defense. And then to wrap up the NFC, we got the NFC West, the best division in the whole league. I got the Rams winning it at 11-6. The Rams, I think they're going to be a very good team. And the only thing that's really holding them back, and this really just applies, to every single team in the NFC West, like the only thing that's really like holding back their win total is the fact that they play in the NFC West, the best division in the league, and drop them in the NFC East or the AFC South. This team is going to win way more than 11 games. But yeah, 11-6, I think that's pretty fair considering how tough their division is. Then we got the 49ers going 10-7. Look, I think they are being a little bit underrated by some people. I know Jimmy Garoppolo's not the flashiest guy, but Jimmy Garoppolo, he does get the job done at quarterback. And the 49ers, I think they will be fully healthy this year. And assuming they are, I think they could definitely steal this division from the Rams. And I mean, to be honest, every single team in this division has a case for winning. But yeah, 49ers going 10-7, not too bad. Seattle Seahawks going 10-7. They could win more games, of course, and again, they could win this division because they did win it last year. But yeah, this could maybe be the year. I mean, they finally break through and make out the conference championship at the very least, because Gabe Jackson was a very good pickup. I absolutely loved it, and I think that does improve the offensive line a good bit. However, I think they are locked to make the playoffs, like some people, unlike some people may think. I know people will say, oh, the Seahawks are going to go 8-9, but as long as they got Russell Wilson and they got a good team around him, I think they should make the playoffs. Then we got the Cardinals going 9-8. Look, if they were dropping in like any other division that's pretty weak, this team is winning way more than nine games. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of their coach, and along with that, they play in the NFC West. So that's really what's kind of holding them back. But yeah, there's the NFC West for you guys. So with those out of the way, the AFC playoff seeding looks like this: 1, Kansas City; and 2 Cleveland, 3 Buffalo, 4 Tennessee, 5 New England, 6 Baltimore, and 7 Miami. And then we got the NFC playoffs, seeding, and I got 1 Tampa, 2 the LA Rams, 3 the Green Bay Packers, 4 Washington, 5 San Francisco, 6 New Orleans, and 7 Seattle. The AFC wild playoffs will look like this, in my opinion. I got the Browns beating the Dolphins in the wild card, Bills beating the Ravens in the wild card, and the Titans beating the Patriots in the wild card. The AFC divisional, I got the Browns beating the Bills, which might be a little bit of a shocker, and the Chiefs beating the Titans. And then we got the AFC Championship, I got the Browns beating the Chiefs. That could be shocking, but I really do think they could definitely beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think overall they are a more talented roster, and I do think they have the talent and the game plan and personnel to really stop Kansas City. And even if they don't beat them week 1, I think they could definitely beat them in the AFC Championship game, assuming I think all the team will be firing on all cylinders by that point, and I think they could easily beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Then we got the NFC wild card. I got the Rams beating the Seahawks, the Packers beating the Saints, and the 49ers beating the football team. Then we got the NFC divisional round, and I got the Rams beating the Packers and the Buccaneers beating the 49ers. And then we got the NFC Championship game, and I know a lot of people are on the Rams hype train, and believe me, I think they will be very good. However, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the Los Angeles Rams and advancing to their 2nd straight Super Bowl. And that sets us up with the Super Bowl 56 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Cleveland Browns. I gotta admit, that's pretty weird to say. 5 years ago, I don't know if we would be seeing the Super Bowl matchup in the near future, but here we are, a Browns and Buccaneers Super Bowl, at least in my predictions reality. But yeah, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game 28-24 and repeating as champions, and I got my Super Bowl MVP as Tom Brady. Look, I just got a hard time betting against the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. The Browns, they could easily win this game, but yeah, I just got a hard time betting against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And going over my NFL award predictions, I think Josh Allen will win MVP. I think the Bills are going to be good enough, to really justify him winning the MVP award, and I think Josh Allen will put up very similar numbers compared to what, his numbers in the 2020 season. Offensive Player of the Year, I got Alvin Kamara. I think he's going to have a fantastic year, especially with Michael Thomas out for the first 6 or 7 weeks, so I think he's absolutely gonna go off this year. Then we got the Defensive Player of the Year. I got TJ Watt. Look, man, I just think he's gonna win it at some point. I think this is finally the year that he does win it. And Aaron Donald, I think he could easily win as well, because it's Aaron Donald, but I do think the voters might be getting a little bit tired of Aaron Donald winning it every year, unless he has like a year very similar to his 2018 season. But yeah, TJ Watt, he's my Defensive Player of the Year. Then Offensive Rookie of the Year, I got Trevor Lawrence. I think he's maybe not a lock to win it, but I do think he will win. I think he will have a good rookie year, and the fact that he's the biggest name is really gonna, really help him in this race, and I think he will win it. Then we got the defensive rookie of the year. I got Micah Parsons. I think he's gonna be great in his rookie season, and I think he's a very good player. And I mean, there's a lot of guys you could go with here. You could go with someone like a Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins, or like maybe J.C. Horn from the Carolina Panthers. There's a lot of guys who you could go with, but ultimately I went with Micah Parsons. Comeback Player of the Year, I got Dak Prescott. I think Dak's gonna be amazing, and I think that he is kind of locked to win this award. And Coach of the Year, this might be a bit of a surprise, but I'm going to go with Bill Belichick. I think he is going to kind of remind the league, how good of a coach he is, and if he does make it, past the divisional round with a rookie quarterback, and if he makes it to the Super Bowl, I think he's got to win Coach of the Year, especially if the Patriots, do have a good regular season record. Like Bill Belichick, I think he's a real sleeper to win Coach of the Year, and there's a lot of guys who you could have gone with, but ultimately, I went with Dollar Bill. But that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel, and also make sure to subscribe if you guys are new and enjoyed this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. Plus, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit our goal, I am finally going to do a face reveal. But with that being said, I am out, you guys.